Hi, I'm Eric Dewey from the Socially Awkward Studios, Science and Beer, and Her Majesty's Secret Podcast, and you're listening to another proud presentation of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Check out more shows at foureyedradio.com.
It's your good pal, Steve-O from the 4-Eye Radio Network. I'm here to talk to you about a wonderful designer we all know, Revenge Lover. Illustrates and designs that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, please visit revengelover.com. And just do yourself a favor and tell him Steve-O sent you. I know it really doesn't count for anything, but, I mean, come on. Who are you gonna trust? You gonna trust somebody else? No, you're gonna trust me, Steve-O. Because, face it, I'm awesome.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another week of Appropriately Inappropriate, episode 101. Nance, how you doing?
Good, Kev.
You finally made it here for an intro?
How
cool.
Own show. I'm on the intro. It only took me 101 episodes.
How are you doing, Nance?
Good.
Did you have a good week?
This is great.
Yeah? What'd you do?
I went to my brother's wedding yesterday. That was kind of cool.
Whoa.
In July in
That's
Arizona.
hot.
It was hot.
But that's exciting. A big deal. Getting married, that's always a big deal. Yeah. Cool, very cool. Yeah, I don't have anything to report, really.
My haircut.
You look great. The haircut looks great. Pregnancy, everything's looking great.
Oh,
I don't know how to... This is probably why I'm single. I don't know how to compliment women very well.
You got a haircut.
I did get a haircut. Could you believe what was going on my head? Hair was growing out of it. It was weird.
It was weird.
Okay, so this week, our episode, a little bit different than what we've been doing, right? Mm-hmm. Normally, two comics come in, we kind of bull stuff, hang out, and then interview them. But it's like more of a tell your bit and then interview about the bit, right?
Right.
What do we got going on this week?
Oh, we have something so cool. A kid who's, is he 16 or 17?
He just turned 17.
Okay, so he's just turned 17, and he's just starting his career in comedy, and his father is assisting him because... Probably needs
because he has to get him in.
Rides and stuff
has
like
to
that.
get him in, yeah.
So good for this dad for supporting his kid. This will be a really exciting episode.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. Way psyched for this to happen. I have so many questions because I started at a young age.
Yeah.
And I got a million questions for this because he started before me when I had started, like age-wise.
I feel like I have just as many questions for his dad. Like,
yeah,
such
right?
a cool trip they're on.
This is going to be awesome. And I've met Tristan is his name. I've met his dad. But literally the last time before I asked him to do the show, I was like, man, I have a million questions for you. And I said, why would I ask them right now? Let me ask them when everybody can hear it. And we can all get these answers and kind of see what's going on. Because, I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm just so excited to do this.
So was he reluctant to do the show, or was he like, yeah, let's bring it on?
Very excited to do the show.
I love when people are excited to come on. It always makes for a better show.
They're excited. I think they're an open book as far as conversation goes and what we can ask. So
he's 16. There's only so many things he's done. So.
Exactly, but that's going to be part of this.
All the stories we always want people to tell, they'll be fresh in his mind.
What did you get away with when you were a child?
Dad, hold on. Earmuffs. Earmuffs, Dad.
Like statute of limitations still is going on with him. He can't tell the stories. I love it. So guys, yeah, I'm super excited for this episode. Everybody sit tight, enjoy it, sit back, relax, and see what it's like for a brand new kid getting into stand-up.
Appropriately inappropriate. Appropriately inappropriate. Appropriately inappropriate. Appropriately inappropriate. Tracks led us to the shelter where the green grass.
Good. Stop talking.
So snap at me.
What a great start.
Snaps at me, but somehow I knew what to do.
Exactly. Bitch, please.
Yeah.
No, he was...
Get a little closer to your mic.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Just yours pulls forward.
Oh. I get the good one.
Didn't come here to see you, Dad.
Oh, thanks. No, you were talking about airsoft, and it's like as a kid, like, you know this, if you have kids, like, they go through these phases of, like, I gotta have everything that relates to this one thing, you know?
They just have to have everything.
Yeah, and he was into airsoft for a while, and all his buddies were doing it. Okay, so, yeah, we were talking about airsoft and how you were like, into airsoft, and like, I mean, it wasn't, like, a cheap hobby. It was like, I have to have everything. And these guns were, like, metal, you know, and they look like a real machine gun, you know.
I have one of those.
Yeah, and
It's got a battery and everything.
yeah, it's totally
charge
like
it.
we had to go. You had to get the specific ones.
Yeah.
And we had it it was like in our kitchen area, and I walked by and I hadn't really messed around with it, and I'm like, damn, this thing's fucking sweet. And I picked it up, and I didn't know that it was loaded and ready to go. And I just pulled the trigger and poof, I
shot out the glass in one of the photos.
Yeah, I did.
In the kitchen.
I did that. And then I was like, man.
No, you immediately, I remember this clear as day, you immediately looked over to me and just, Tristan, what did you do?
I didn't do that. Fuck
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Was one of you gonna get in trouble for that?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. And so I took all the rest of the glass out, and then so it looked like there was no glass in that picture,
That's
along
smart.
with the other pictures that matched, and that was like the real mature thing to do.
After blaming your son.
Yeah, after blaming my son. So yeah, and it took a little while. And my wife comes home and she's like, "What the fuck happened to this picture? There's no glass in it anymore." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, your son shot that picture out with his airsoft hobby." And it's funny too because
just make sure that Tristan's mic picks up.
are you?
Just talk for a second. I'm sorry.
Ah.
Yeah, all right, you're good. I can see it. I can see it from here. You're
That
good.
sounds so much better than testing.
Nervous whining.
Dude, all right, so I'm too stupid because I don't know airsoft from paintball to
Pellets.
just BB
They're like
guns.
little
Sounds
yellow-
little tiny plastic.
Is those like a
pellets.
BB gun?
Yeah,
Plastic
Yeah, it's
pellets.
they're not as
plastic,
hard as a
though.
BB gun. Like,
They're not as metal. As
yeah,
BB.
they're not. Yeah, they're plastic.
So
They
you
hurt
can
like
shoot-
a bastard though. If you
Oh,
hit
they
it
hurt.
with-
All right.
I convinced you to shoot yourself in the fight.
Well, I was like, yeah, this couldn't possibly hurt. You guys run around and shooting each other. It's for kids, you know. And I was
They
like,
are for
"Bonk,"
kids.
and I shot it
they
in my
are
foot. and
Really
it-
dangerous.
Yeah, it hurt like a son of a bitch. Like I was kind
Broke
of surprised.
glass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
right.
can break glass too.
Who
Also
knew?
good for that.
So he got in trouble for breaking the picture frame. You got in trouble, not your
Yeah,
son.
yeah. I took the heat on that one.
That's all right.
That's all
Oh,
right.
mostly
I
'cause
took
you
the
flunked
heat on one. You did it.
I had
Son,
to
you'll
take
remember
it
this
away
one
with
day.
you.
I took the heat on this
You'll
for
thank
you.
me for this one day.
Oh, man, guys, real quick, introduce yourselves so everybody knows what's going on.
Should I plug?
Whatever you want to do,
Plug
man.
Right. I'm doing, I'm Tristan Bowling, and I'm doing, pulling up, I'm doing a show on the 25th in Stand Up Scottsdale next Saturday, so yeah.
Killer.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And I'm his dad, Brad, and I'm just going to work and things.
I'm so excited, dude. I'm so excited for this, man. When I asked you guys last week and you agreed to do it, I was like, all right, this is what I'm fucking waiting for.
It's cool. I dig your shirt because I'm a game developer, so it's like
You are?
yeah.
Yeah, he makes...
He's living the dream.
Yeah.
Every kid wants to grow up
Everyone
and
wants to do
design
that, and they
video
think
games.
that you're just sitting around like shooting Nerf darts at each other and like.
It's
eating
only that half the
candy.
time.
It is only like
So
that. half
are you
the time.
excited for Pixels to come out?
I'm kind of excited about it. Yeah, I'm just like I don't know. I'm getting kind of old and jaded when it comes to shit like that. It's kind of bad, but you know. I don't know.
Dude, that's
really
such a cool job.
What's your
pretty cool
all-time
job.
Tristan, you can leave, man. We got questions
Yeah, we gotta
for
go.
your
Don't
dad.
worry.
It's people have asked me that before, and it's like when I tell them what games I would like really like I couldn't live without. They're like, I've never even heard of that game.
I don't want to hear anything new. Nothing new.
So
Old
no,
school.
it's not like I mean like if you're looking at like old games, like I played Galaga so much when I was a kid that like and we have a Galaga machine in my work, so we all play Galaga, and I kick some
Stop,
serious
dude.
ass.
Is it like Grandma's Boy? Is that what your office is like?
It's like it's sort of like that, and if like
Even the fact that it's sort of like that.
That's
if
enough.
like Mr. Wizard exploded, like, and there was parts of computers and shit everywhere. Like we have all these unfinished like arcade cabinets because like my boss collects them and one of the guys there collects them. So they have all these Japanese arcade cabinets, and we have all kinds of game stuff. We got a pool table. We have lots of liquor. Like we kind of drink a lot. And
That's work.
you can come by
Overtime.
sometime.
So
if you
much
wanna
overtime.
come.
Are you guys hiring? Like, I'll do anything at this place. I am quitting comedy to just hang out in the office.
I picked my children's pediatrician because they have old Pac-Man and Frogger in their office.
That's pretty sweet.
And that's how I picked their
Yeah.
doctor.
Yeah.
This is the office
Old
for
school
us.
Pac-Man. I haven't even tried to play Pac-Man in a long time. I'm so bad at it.
I beat you in most video games, but to this day, you can still kick my ass in Unreal Tournament 2004.
Oh my god, we played that in the office because they're coming out with a new version of this game. That's one of the other games I really love. And
What is it called?
Unreal Tournament, it's amazing. Like it's like
It's fast-paced.
It's fast-paced, and it's a first-person shooter, and it's just insane. And we, one of the guys at work makes moonshine. And so we got...
He's the best job.
All right, you know what, dude? This is it. I retire. End of the episode. I am going to spend every second of my life at your office.
So we all got, I got completely shit-faced and kicked the shit out of the entire office when I was, just drinking moonshine and playing video games. And the guys who own our company happened to be in from Germany. And I'm laughing my ass off and swearing and yelling across the office. And I was like, that probably didn't go over very well. It's probably a bad impression from
he got a promotion.
the Germans. I don't think they were just like, oh.
The Germans have done worse.
Yeah,
That's true. This is true.
they have done worse. They got some making up for that.
Yeah, I'm Jewish. Tristan covers his mouth. What a young guy's like, oh my God, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Wow.
I figured
sorry.
your generation accepts everyone. Isn't that who you are?
Yeah, basically. And if you're not,
It's still going to take a while.
that's
It's still
too
gonna
far.
take a while.
You're crossing the line.
I'll tell you what, though, we came out of World War II very successful after that. That's, I think, why people don't like Jews.
That's true.
Like, look at the travesty. Like,
Yeah,
black people went through all this
that's
shit,
why.
and they're still fighting to get the equal everything. Jews are like, yeah, we went through this shit, and now we're fucking rich as hell.
Okay, again,
It's
that's
not
why
fair.
people don't like Jews. That's the reason.
We've solved the problem. We've found out.
So does everyone in your office like that book, Ready Player One? It's my favorite book ever. I'm just curious if you guys all talk about that.
I haven't. Maybe.
Oh,
I'll
it's
ask her.
about game.
Is it really?
Gaming? Yeah, the
Cool.
guy.
I'll have to read it. Yeah.
The guy that develops gaming.
Cool.
Do you guys have every video game system?
No.
We've got a lot. We have everybody's sort of like a Dreamcast fanatic. So Shenmue, which is a Japanese game, which is one of the friggin' best games of all time, and they're making a sequel to it too. And we play that. One of the guys.
Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur's awesome. Dreamcast. Soul Calibur was badass.
The first gaming console with a keyboard.
Yeah,
We had the keyboard for that.
It was a great gaming console. It was groundbreaking on a lot of levels. But we we must have 4 or 5 Dreamcasts, and people just play every once in a while. And we've got all the new stuff. And we got some new secret stuff from Sony that we got to mess around with.
Dude, I can't take this anymore, man.
Yeah,
I just
Tristan's
can't.
at his house.
It's like
insane.
incredible.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's still like a job, and you gotta work. I'll probably have to go in tomorrow because
From 10 to 2.
we're dealing with outsourcing right now. So I have guys in all over the damn world who are sending me stuff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, my team's working until midnight tonight," and I'm like, "I don't give a shit what you do in Eastern Europe, man. I'm going home." But I gotta go. I'll probably have to go in tomorrow and make sure everything works out right. So
Yeah, when I was a little kid, my dad made video games, so I never really had the pressure of going to join football or anything like that.
oh, dude, no, yeah,
No, son, play this game with me instead.
it's true.
Yeah.
You need to find all the glitches.
Screw the
Let's play
outside.
catch. Let's play Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Punch Out. Oh man, I almost wore a Punch Out shirt today too.
Oh yeah, I stole that
coolest
shirt from you,
dad.
and you stole it back.
Yeah.
I love your household. I love everything
cool.
about Brad. This is the coolest dude I ever met. Tristan, you're so fucked.
Let's just
can't
interview
grow
my
up
dad
like
for an hour.
Yeah, sorry. I bet this happens a lot.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
That's all right.
Dude, how many of your friends just want to hang out with your dad?
Majority. My friend Caleb, who lives up here, texts my dad more than he texts me.
Well, it's I don't know. Our house has kind of become like the safe haven. Not everybody's home life is
So
just
you have
okay.
the fun house.
And we have a fun house, and it's those kids know if they get in shit with their parents, they can always come to me, and I'll help them out and stuff. And
I want to have the fun house.
yeah, and we had Tristan, maybe you tell about the little party experience you had where you brought a bunch of drunk fuckers home to my house.
I brought 2 drunk fuckers home to your house, and I
Yeah.
looked after them, and I sheltered them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No.
It was me and Centenny.
Well, no. You're gonna. He's got a car now, so
Yeah.
got him a car, and it's not
And
greatest
so-
looking car, but he's driving. He's DD for
Yeah.
That's why you bought him a car.
I've been.
You bought yourself a driver. I love it.
I've been.
Is this not the greatest dude in the world?
I've only been to 3 ever parties, and all 3 of those parties I've been a designated driver.
As you should, 17-year-old child.
Yes, what is alcohol? God. All I drink is water and eat saltines.
But But no, he brought, and one of the kids is like, I've known him since he was a little kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know you guys are going, and I'm not stupid. Like, I was a teenager. I know that they're gonna have it, like a beer or whatever. It turns out, like nowadays at parties, everyone has like hard alcohol. Man.
Oh yeah, no, they don't even have beer anymore.
Like Bud Light.
Someone
we didn't
brought
have beer.
What we
When
have?
we had
Like
liquor.
light beer and liquor.
Ours was
No,
always
we
shitty
never
beer,
really had
like-
beer.
Something we never had good stuff.
Like they would have like I went to this humongous party, like 300 people there, and they had a 32 pack of Bud Light, 30 Bud Light, and then literally like a 6-foot tall fridge just full of Jello shots, and just a handle of Fireball, and just all this shit, and I'm just like.
It literally. This is Nancy's house.
Dead if I was
Yeah.
your age. when
It's
Fireball
Nancy's
was-
house on a Thursday
Like
I'm gonna give
afternoon.
this guy my number. I want.
my dad is so fucking lucky because I don't do anything.
No, you
like
are. You're
that.
a good kid. You are.
I'm such a shut-in.
Well, you don't like to like.
I don't like
it's
to-
Cool. I guess you don't like to go out and get like fucked up like the rest.
No,
of these
I don't. The only time I drink is.
Don't incriminate me, son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a weird sentence to hear.
The only time I
17-year-old,
drink.
you're already talking like an alcoholic. Look, the
Driving
only
my
time I
dad home.
drink.
It's 2:00 in the morning in my closet.
No, I don't drink at
We've all
all.
been there.
Like basically.
No, like
good.
you're gonna
That's
let
a
your
good
kid have a
start.
freaking beer. Like it's sort of like you know, you mentioned you're Jewish. My sister. This is kind of a
Loosely, bro.
big
Loosely.
long segue here, but my sister married a Jewish guy, and so like they sent me to Israel when I was a kid. In my senior year of high school was in Israel, and there's no drinking age in Israel. So I was fucking drunk like almost all the time, and over there we're like, why aren't you Israeli kids like going partying up? And they're like, fuck you, man, we're going to the army next year. like you guys are
Right?
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
That's why.
I think like from like as a parent, if it's the forbidden fruit, it's always going to be something they go after. And
Yeah.
if they're like, hey, let me have some of your beer, and I'm like, here, have some beer, and they're like, oh, this tastes like shit. And it's like, okay, well, problem solved. You know?
Yes. My dad did that to me when I was a kid. He had a beer at the table. He doesn't drink at all.
Yeah.
So maybe, I legitimately, at this age, I'm like, did I fantasize this? Because I've never seen him drink before. But I do know this happened. He had a beer that was in the fridge. He cracked it open. He said, yeah, have a sip, man. Go for it. And I was a kid. And I took a sip, and it tasted horrible.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never want to drink. Like, who wants this shit? I can have chocolate milk, dude. I don't
Delicious.
want this beer. Now, I mean, I love beer. We have a very close relationship. But there was that piece about it. And now with my son, he's 6.
Yeah.
But I say it all the time on here too. I think Nancy's the same way, and I'll ask you with Tristan as far as when you were raising him was. Now he's not homeschooled. I have him go to school and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would rather he learns life things from home with me.
Yeah.
I would rather be the one to tell him like, dude, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And just expect it, rather than him going out and be like, "Whoa, this is weird. I don't know what to do."
Yeah, that's the way it was too. Like I always like wonder like what's gonna happen when I have to like have like like sex talk and all that. Like
You don't have to worry about that with Tristan.
no, dude, but we did. Like I would like he'd be asking me questions.
Oh
and
no, you didn't. You didn't. I remember.
I answered your question.
Did you ask the girl's father?
No,
Oh.
he got. I remember. I remember this. We were making pulled pork, and you got very drunk and explained everything to me. Yeah.
But there might have been that time. But I always like trying. I was trying like I'm gonna
He
tell you
doesn't remember
straight,
it
man.
didn't count.
I'm gonna tell you straight. Like that's always the way it's been. Like I'd rather you hear it from me than like one of your friends. Who's
Exactly.
Like, that don't like know or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody
exactly.
knows. Like,
No, you're right. Nobody
have you
knows.
seen my friends? Like, honestly, dude.
When it comes
few-
to women, Tristan, you're right. No one knows.
It sounds like you're doing great. Both of you really sounds like you got this
It
handle.
really does, man. Any brothers and sisters?
I got a sister. She just moved to Florida with her girlfriend, right? Like a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And I don't know. Now I'm just kind of like an only child.
It's kind of weird.
Well, we have like your mom. She,
Yeah, my
she
mom
operates like
moved
a
in with
toddler.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting. It's weird.
It
I've never
is.
watched so much fucking Golden Girls. It's
Yeah.
actually a really good show.
I can I can recite the whole
gotta-
theme song now.
We got to hook you up with Anthony
I
and
saw it the other night, and I was like,
yeah,
I know
yeah.
you got a podcast.
the Golden
Dude,
Girls
thank
podcast.
you for being a friend.
Yeah. Oh,
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal to comment on.
but all right. Let's get into this a little bit. as far as just easing into the comedy thing, because Tristan, you're how old?
I'm 17 right now.
You just turned 17.
Yeah, in May.
So you were 16 when you first went up on stage.
Yeah, I was
Correct?
16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the easiest question to start off was, where did this all come from?
Well, I don't know. Like, I've always been, like, kind of a class clown. But, like, not the guy who's just been like, oh, you're fucking gay. But, like, actually, like, trying to think of stuff.
Way to step up the material, Tristan.
Yeah, I know. And I like, always enjoyed making people laugh and making people happy. And I remember me and my dad used to go on walks and stuff. And we would talk about it. And I'm like, dude, I want to make people laugh for a living. And he's like, this is when I was like 15. And I was just like, he's like, you should be a comedian. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, it was like one of those things that I was never going to do. But when I was 16 and I was at a cast party after this play that I was in. And there was a big fire and everyone was telling stories. And I got up, and they're like, Tristan, tell a story. And basically, I did, like, my first ever thing. Like, I was telling stories, I was making people laugh, and it was great. And I loved it, and I got in the car when my dad picked me up, and I'm like, I want to start doing stand-up. Like, I want to start it. And the hardest part about it wasn't, like, going up on stage, because, like, I've always been a part of drama club and stuff, but it was just letting a club let me. Because, like, I was 16 years old at the time, and, like, nobody, like, let a 16-year-old on stage because it's a bar and stuff. Like, they always serve alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, there's a bunch of reasons why. But for drama, was that, I mean, acting, drama, whatever, the whole nine, how early in your life did that start taking a part?
Well, for a while, I wanted to be, like, an actor. And, like, my mom took me to some place, and she, like, made me read something. And at the time, I was, like, 5. And I had the reading level of, like, an infant. So, like, I honestly
should at 5.
and I was like 8 or 9 or something like that, and I just couldn't read it. Honestly, I can't even read now. But, like,
Yes, you can. Jesus.
Listen to the disappointment in Dad's voice.
Yes, you can.
You're graduating, goddammit.
Yeah, but I was always into that. And then my sophomore year, I started doing, like, techie stuff with drama, and I started doing choir. And I still love it. My sister and I were in choir. We're, like, duking it out. And then the second semester, I was in a play, which was super fun. And so I was just like, well, I'll just stick with this.
Plus, you did voiceover for my
Oh,
game.
yeah. I did voiceover for when I was, like, 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I did voiceover for one of my dad's games.
For Dude's Big Adventure on the Wii.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
way.
it was the voice of Dude.
Yeah, I was the voice. Main character. 3 people bought it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Though.
You kidding me? That's literally awesome.
Yeah, and, like,
And then you did that other thing for the autistic thing.
oh yeah, there's like there's an app for like called Social Town or something. I can't find it on the App Store.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of money apparently.
What?
Yeah, it's for like kids who have autism, and it sort of teaches them like skills to like socialize with people. And he was one of the, and it's almost like a little video game thing for him.
Yeah. And I was one of the voices for it, and that was pretty fun. And I got like $100 for it. I think I spent it on like,
I don't know what you probably spent it
oh,
on.
I spent it over time, but I really wanted to get a Muppet.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
There was
I
a
think I
create
talked
your
you
own
out of
Muppet
that.
thing.
Who is this kid, man? He's not as cool as his dad.
I've just been like, I've been through like, I'm just really happy that like I have the parents that I do, because like, and it kind of sucks because people will be like, oh, my dad like beats me and stuff, and my mom's an alcoholic, and then like, yeah, I have to deal with that at school, and I'm like, my mom drinks Prosecco, my dad makes video games, so I can't, I'm not
That
on the
is her
same
job,
level.
too.
Yeah, I'm not on the same level, so like I've kind of been like the therapist for people because I've had like a really good home life and stuff. And I can't thank my dad enough for just like not getting up and leaving when my mom has been a complete lunatic, which happens more often than not.
Okay.
Everybody's got that mom. Dude, look at Nancy.
Oh, that's not true.
Look at Nancy. I mean, she's a lunatic.
I am.
Do you think? I don't know. Do you have a question?
So many.
All right.
Okay, so you talked earlier about how it was hard just to get stage time.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad's got to stay with you and everything like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you said you wanted to get into comedy, do you go to like clubs and ask, and some say no and some say yes?
It took the longest time for me because I'm not really shy, but like it's a mixture of laziness and social awkwardness.
Right.
It makes like the perfect concoction for me being like, maybe I'll call him, maybe not.
Right,
I'm
but
just going to
like
sit in my room
on
and
the
think
club
about
sets,
it.
I understand if they have to say no, and I also would understand if some just go, we're going to pretend like we don't know
Yeah.
at your age, and that's cool
Yeah.
too. So has that been a struggle, just
Yeah,
getting
like
stage time?
even
and you
now-
have to ask. You have to ask
Yeah,
as well, or
and-
you have to be there.
Well, at first I was like, dude, if you want to do this, go after it. I can't
Yeah.
be your motivation for you, because if you really want to do it and it's not just you talking about it,
Yeah.
then you have to do the research. You have to find the clubs and you have to make the phone
So
call.
you have to make that phone call. You have to say, I'm
Yeah.
Tristan and I want to do
like
and I'm 16.
I had to call like a month ago. I had to call Chop and Walk and ask if I could do stand up there.
They let you?
I haven't been there, but they said it would be fine if you.
Oh, that's
It's a restaurant.
Okay, and then
Bar restaurant, you're fine.
also being in a bar scene at 16, 17, you've probably seen some things. You're probably like, whoa, maybe
No, I've
drinking's
already.
not a good thing.
I've been ruined by the internet way before. The internet has ruined me.
When I was 16, I think we didn't have the internet. I didn't have the internet. And then when we got it, it made that noise like,
Oh, dude, it took forever.
Oh, yeah.
forever.
My dad always gave me like when he moved out. When the first company we had shut down, they sold really high-end computers for like really cheap.
Yeah.
And so I took one into my room, and then I've just been tinkering on it. But I've seen terrible things on the internet.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's like tough, man. Because even one of the guys at work was talking about that, because his son is like, his son's like 15, and his kid's like really tall too. It's weird. But I was hearing the conversation today, and he's like talking about like Net Nanny and and I'm like, and he's like, at some point you have to have the conversation where you're like, listen, man, you're gonna see some shit, and you need to filter yourself. And when your buddy's like, hey, you want to go see a goat doing this on the internet?
Right.
You're like, hey, guess what? I'll never be able to unsee that, so no thanks.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be uncool for that. You're being wise.
Yeah, I've had
Don't even, come on.
PTSD from the internet.
I would
Most
imagine.
people-
Whenever
My
we
kids have
did-
computers, and it terrifies me. I have a 10-year-old. She just,
It is like
Whenever
got
I see
free
a
reign
horse,
to
I
do
get the
whatever she
1,000-yard
wants.
stare.
We did the 6 degrees of YouTube separation on this
it's a
show a
good-
long
good
time ago.
experiment.
Oh,
For
man.
Where
kids,
you just
too.
type in,
Oh yeah, you told me about
yeah,
that. I
type
heard
in
that.
something like
Neckties.
the kids will, or anything,
Oh, yeah.
and see how the recommended videos on the right. Just click on one, then click on, and by 6, you
Oh, my
get to
God.
something that
That's
you
really
should
horrible.
not see that
I
you
was
typed
trying to
in.
explain to my daughter who Shamu was, because she was who's the Shamu? I'm like, oh, it's a whale at SeaWorld. So we type in Shamu show or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, within 3 videos, it was just the most inappropriate way. Anything attached with the word whale is like, I mean, I was like, oh my
I
God.
typed in like porthole once, and Safe Search was on, and I was like,
I
"Oh,
don't
you
even
got
know
to
what
be
these things
freaking
are.
kidding me!" Like it was,
Yeah.
Oh, and I was trying to get my dog a dog bed one time. Doggy, anything. In Google, it does not pull up a dog bed. Even if you type in dog bed, it does not pull up a dog bed. Ever. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
we learned.
That's not a dog bed.
No. See, maybe a bed in there. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely a bed. I don't know
So,
if that's
the
dog.
internet
Well, she
terrifies
is
me.
ugly.
But, it's out there.
It is.
They're on it. They have computers, and they know how to use them, and I'm
And
happy
again, with
they're
the
reading.
forbidden fruit,
so.
if it becomes that, then they're gonna find a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't worry about them quite yet, but I checked my daughter's internet history just out of curiosity not long ago, and it was the biggest roller coaster in the world. Just like all
That's
these like really
awesome. That's
funny
I
things.
still look that
It's
up.
So cute. Yeah.
That is cool.
Have you seen Sheikra? That stuff is terrifying.
No, what is it?
It's Busch Gardens. It's like a beyond 90-degree drop. It like
It was terrifying.
curves in. It's
No
terrifying.
way.
We went on it. I cried a
did?
lot.
You were freaking out.
No,
Do you do roller coasters? Do you throw up?
Fuck no. My son likes them, and he's 6, and he's like, "Let's go to this place with roller coasters." I'm like, 1, you're not tall enough, thank God. Because
Yeah, just
2,
wait till
I'm a
they are.
gigantic pussy and won't go on it.
That's awesome.
like I don't know. I think I have a
Shikra?
yeah Sheikra.
It
It's
was a
Busch Gardens,
Busch Gardens,
Tampa. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, plus like the whole internet thing. Like I don't know. I was kind of. Oh, I have a story if you wanna.
Yes.
So this is when I was a wee lad, and even weirder than I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say that, every comic in the back is like, fuck this kid, man. Oh, a wee lad were you?
I was 5. No, and I was sitting on your lap while you were browsing through emails.
Look at him. No, I wasn't.
Dude, I don't even remember this.
Oh,
not-
yeah.
it was not
Yeah,
on
you're
my
going to
lap on the
remember it.
computer.
And then, so we're seeing this, and my friend Matt's ex-wife, Diane,
Jesus, yeah, I do remember
sent...
Your friend Matt,
Well, my...
ex-wife?
I mean, I call him it's my... Caleb,
It's like our neighbor. And,
Yeah. I don't know.
You're
And
just very close with
Yeah.
friends and family.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, and then his ex-wife Diane sent us a little link, and it sent us to a game, like a maze game that you do with your mouse. And my dad set me up on his lap, and he's like, "Look at this! You're gonna guide the mouse and stuff." And if you didn't know, it was like one of those Scream maze games where like the face of the chick from The Exorcist comes up and
Yeah.
just screams
I
at
love
you.
those.
So apparently I'm not too good at that game.
You lost.
And it showed up. My dad's just like, oh, and I immediately scream, get up, run around his desk, run around the whole entire house. Side note, my sister was vomiting this whole entire time
Which
because
is kind of a weird, like,
'cause she was
Exorcist thing.
sick.
Like, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
So my sister's like harboring my vomiting. My mom is harboring my vomiting sister in the other room while I'm screaming in my tighty whities around the house.
Yeah, it was really messed up. I called her and I was like, oh, God. I'm like, you're an asshole. I'm like, why would you do this? She's like, oh, you should. It was
I think those are so funny.
It was bad.
Now I wait for them and it doesn't happen. I'm like, oh, that's just something stupid.
The reaction videos
I'm
are
watching
funny.
something stupid. But
Oh,
I
have you
like
seen the
those.
reaction video where the guy punches a hole through his computer?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he punches he's doing the maze game, and a face pops up, and he screams and punches a hole
I
through
think
his
that-
monitor.
I don't know. This is bad. This sounds
Staged?
bad, but I think he might have been like, I don't know. He might not.
On
He might have been
something?
like a little retarded or something.
Yeah.
You know, like
Maybe.
retard
Dude.
strong and just sort of like.
Dude, right?
Retard
That's
strength?
the thing.
It is.
Dude, it is a thing.
Dude,
Yeah.
I've
In high school, dude, there was a guy with Down syndrome. First of all, he got away with everything. Like grabbing girls in every inappropriate
Oh,
place,
yeah.
and they
who's
just
gonna
laughed.
badmouth a Down syndrome kid?
I'm not
Only
bad mouth,
other
but
Down syndrome
he
kids.
would grab people and just throw them across the
Oh
hall.
my fucking god!
And it'd be like, "Jeez, how the fuck is this guy not on the wrestling team?
Yeah.
Like, he's insanely
Yeah,
strong."
use it for good.
Oh yeah. use your superpower for good.
People are afraid of what they don't understand.
There was a kid in my hometown like that, and this kid rode his bike everywhere. Like there was this bike in him where like one. And I grew up in like upstate New York. It was like cold out in the winter. He'd be out riding his bike. And I think one time like one of the jocks at school like tried to take his bike and sat on his bike, and I was like, oh holy shit, this is gonna be really bad. He literally picked the guy up off the bike. And I was like, go Dave. I think
Yeah.
That's impressive, man.
Dude.
Nobody messes with his bike.
Like there was this guy in my old school who was like handicapped, and he would just be like, he'd come talk to me, and this was when my hair was all swishy because I was that phase. Where
As opposed to what it is now?
Well, yeah. What?
do you know?
People can't see it, but man,
That's good.
your hair is incrable.
Like bedhead. I don't know how to describe that.
I don't know what it is anymore.
either.
It's slowly gaining consciousness. Like,
Kind of its own thing.
yeah, I woke
It's
up.
like shorter on the sides, but the top is
It looks like
super long.
it looks like I stuck a fork in a light socket.
You know those Norwegian troll dolls? Those
Yeah.
Yes.
he can totally do
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Do the whole
Diet for Halloween.
No,
and
I'm
just
not
be a
doing
troll.
this for you
Like,
or
he has
anyone.
to like wear
It's
a diaper or
audio,
something.
Tristan. No one can see.
God
So-
can see me.
Yeah.
And I went this Down syndrome kid, and I went, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm just like, "Oh, nothing." And he's like, "Have a good day, high five." And he almost broke my damn wrist. Like, I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, dude, they got that strength, dude. It's actually pretty awesome,
Yeah,
especially when they help you move. It's like,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
you just need one.
That could be a great like.
Handicapped movers.
Oh my god, $1 million idea.
handy-capable movers.
Exactly.
Capable. That's right. What was the Living Color guy that was like the handyman or something?
Yeah,
And he'd like
Yeah,
fall
that
out
was
the
it,
window.
handyman.
Handyman.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
picks up your couch
You
with
never
one
saw
hand.
Living Color. That was awesome.
No, I didn't.
Well, I got the whole first season
Yeah.
for Christmas
Oh, really?
or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that stuff was great.
It is.
Dude,
It's
Living
funny.
Color is awesome.
Jim Carrey's first starting out.
Oh, my God.
He does the whole bit where he's in a bikini and he's eating
That was-
steroids.
yeah.
I just watched that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx,
All-
David Allen
so
Greer,
many people.
Tommy Davidson. Like, this was their, like,
Debut.
kind of. I mean, they've
Yeah.
been doing comedy for a long time, but this was, hey, welcome to
Oh, yeah.
this. And, dude, it was one of the best sketch shows ever.
I remember
Ever.
Jim Carrey's like first special that I saw where he was still doing impressions and stuff, and it was just it was crazy how good he did like Jimmy Stewart and some of those guys and like change his face and everything. That guy was
He's
just
talented.
amazing. The guy's super talented.
Yeah, crazy talented. Tristan, what about you? Do you have influences?
Oh yeah. Some of my favorite comics are like Tom Segura, like Patton Oswalt. I really like T.J. Miller, and man, it's just I don't know. I always watch stuff when I go to bed, so I usually just load up like stand-up comedy, thinking it's gonna like beam funny into my brain.
It helps.
Studying.
Yeah,
Sleep.
yeah. It's kind of like
Now, so far, has comedy interfered with school at all?
in a sense, because like I don't know, like when I first started doing it, I don't know, people would ask me to hang out and I'm like, I can't, I'm going to a show tonight. And they're like,
Right.
what do you
And
mean?
they can't go.
Yeah, and they can't
Yeah.
go. Like I had two of my friends wanting to go to open mic and they just couldn't. They couldn't. Like we drove them all the way down. And like my friend, and I invited the same guy over on Wednesday to the New Faces show because I had to bring like 10 people, which is hard because I don't have 10 friends.
You've got to be the exception to that one. You
No,
can't have
I
10
had to
people
bring
that can
10
get in.
people.
It's the
So you've got to
worst.
have your dad, like your mom, your dad.
No, I showed up and they said, I messaged them a while back. They're like, oh, it's 16 plus. I'm like, all right,
Like
sweet.
16 and over?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went there and asked, like, nah, 18 plus. And I have like a caravan of just 16-year-olds behind me,
Right.
like willing and able to
To
riot.
order Cokes all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna drain your Pepsi supplies?
We talked to them and they were cool about it afterwards. They
Yeah. The hardest part about that was finding 10 friends. Honestly,
I don't have 10
Yeah.
friends.
I don't have 10
Kevin,
friends.
that's bad.
Like I have a tight knit
Yeah.
As
network.
most people do.
Yeah.
I have
a-
500 friends on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
I hang out with about 3 of them, and not regularly.
yeah.
Like birthdays, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
sometimes.
I
People
do
on
that.
Facebook, I'm like, I don't even know you. Like, why am I doing?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do a bit in my act, a whole thing about social media, but part of it is too that I say is how awkward of a party would it be if all of your Facebook friends showed up?
That's your,
Oh, all
Like,
the
it'd
ex-girlfriends
be
and stuff
pretty
like
bad.
that.
But you wouldn't even know half the people. It'd be like, who the fuck
Yeah.
are you? Like, dude,
Yeah, no, there's people in there and they're like, oh, talking about high school, and I'm like, God damn, I even broke out the yearbook and I'm like trying to find these
especially
people.
when they get married and they change their names, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I have no clue. I'm the only person my age named Nancy, so when I show up on Facebook, everyone knows who I am. They're like, which Kevin are you? No. Which Nancy are you? That never happens.
Yeah, no, you're the only one we've
I'm
ever
the only
known.
Nancy on my Facebook. So.
Honestly, like when I first started showing up to stand up Scottsdale, I thought like everyone fucking hated me. Like honestly,
Why?
like
Everybody says that.
no, because like everyone like I always try to talk to people, but it always usually ends up like, hey, that was stupid, I'll leave. But
I think everybody's so nice there, but I'm a girl, so
yeah,
it's a different kind of struggle.
yeah, but I would always like eventually like I started talking to people and like I don't know, like I'm friends with Dom and stuff like that. He messaged me on Facebook and I don't know, it's just hard. I'm just like kind of just a shy person when it comes to meeting new people. And that's why I'm like super nervous to come on a podcast today because I'm just like, what am I going to say? Like I've had like a couple conversations with Kevin, but like, I don't know.
Everybody says.
And I'm mean, man. I'm not a friendly guy.
Is he mean in person?
I mean, like, I never, like, come up to, because I have to stay outside the boundaries of the club because I'm 17.
Right.
And everyone's in there, like, smoking and drinking, and I'm just like, all right, see you
Everybody
guys
there
on the flip
smokes.
side until my dad gets here. And then, I don't know, I remember last Wednesday you were talking about me on stage, and I was just like, man, I really hope it doesn't hate me.
I don't know. You know what happened was it was just us.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not going to burn material up here. I'm not going to get a good read off of it because everybody's heard everything.
Yeah.
And if I'm
part of
trying
it, too,
something
yeah.
new, they're not listening. No comic is listening to my new stuff either. So it's like, why am I going to go up here and just burn material? I'll just talk to you guys.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a weird space because there are a lot of times when it's not like super packed and so people are more concentrating on like what they're doing their own material and trying out new stuff than they are on like meeting and talking to new people and all that. So,
And you don't alter your material at all because you know your dad's there, right? That's not
No.
ever going to be an issue.
No, sometimes
I would have. If I knew my dad was, but it's
yeah,
different.
like my dad helps me write it. Like he helps me.
well, I mean, to the standpoint of like you're still like it has to be adult humor. Like it has
Yeah.
to be like
Oh, yeah.
it has to appeal to adults. So there's some things that you might say that like are cool and funny and stuff from your frame of mind, but it might not really work 100%.
But on the other hand, everyone's been your age, so we can all relate to something you've got to say.
Yeah, like I'm trying to write something right now. I'm in the middle of it about me going to my high school party first high school party, which actually happened.
Yeah.
And like it's just I don't know. It's hard to think of stuff that like it would also be like funny for adults because I run it by my friends. They're like, "That's hilarious," and I go there. I'm just like, crickets.
See, that's the thing. Like those are they're kids, and like farts are still hilarious. Yeah.
Farts are always
Always.
funny.
They are always hilarious. But
What did you do with my
Never
dad?
it's cool, like, because you go up there and when you do your stand-up, it really isn't like another 17-year-old doing stand-up. Like, we talk about you behind your back.
Oh, sweet.
And
All right. No, it's not like you're the first person.
no, I know.
You're in
I'm
high
sure
school,
you're
you
getting shit on all
understand
the
I'm a
time.
dick to everyone. That's fine.
But what I mean by that is, like, you go up and you actually tell a story.
Yeah.
Not just like a storytelling comic. That's not what I mean. But you have something to say. Now, your point of view that you have right now, you're so young. So
Yeah.
your dad's 100% right. It's like, I mean, it's got to also relate to all these people in the audience. And how many 16, 17-year-olds in the audience? Zero, really.
This poor guy probably hasn't been arrested yet, so no one, he can't relate to everyone that way.
I'm trying my hardest, honestly.
I haven't either.
Do it for the story.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I would tell my dad.
horrible
My
advice.
one phone call.
But how many people do you know in comedy say, tell me the first time you were arrested? Just the first time. Everyone's like, I got
Oh,
arrested.
yeah.
Oh,
But I'll say this. Because you're so young, we expect a certain type of comedy to come out of your mouth, right? Because there's only so much that like Nancy said, there's only so much you've lived through and been through. So if you're talking about shitting or puking or at whatever, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, we expect that because that dude's been through that shit. That's what he's going through now.
Yeah.
He's going through weird, awkward moments in high school. He's going through this, which will tell the same thing, but it's 15 years removed, and now it's a reflection where you're literally talking through it. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm living through this right
I
now.
almost poop myself every day of my life.
I do shit myself every day.
That's metal, man.
I got the worst stories of all time, dude.
That's intense.
Yeah, now come see my full act. It's horrifying. But the coolest part and why I'm so stoked for you is that you don't go up and you're just not this guy that's like, hey, I had to go to the bathroom and I shit myself and that's the punchline. You don't do that. It's within a story. It's literally within something that happened to you. You're telling your life.
Yeah, I've been like studying a lot of comics, and like I've realized that I have a lot of people have like jokes within stories, but I have like it's kind of like I just have stories that happen to be funny. And like I really want to write like actual jokes and stuff like that, but at the same time, like I don't know, just like a lot of dumb shit has happened to me, and I just like
I don't know, but that's the thing. Like, you find something funny in that, like we were talking about. Like, I mean, the whole story, like, the whole Disney story, like, showing fans at Disney. Like, I mean, I could go up there and tell that same story, and it wouldn't be as funny. Like, and it kind of expound on like the things that are parts that are hysterical, and
yeah,
and
like
I don't know, man. I feel bad because I
You
don't
didn't have it
have
in you to be
a
a comedian. You wouldn't take a normal story and go. You wouldn't find humor in it unless you have it in you to be a comedian. Any story. I mean, I've been at a funeral and thought something was funny, but it's just because I try and look for that in every situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at first I was just like, all right, I want to be a comedian. How the fuck do I be a comedian? Like, I'm 16 years old. Like, how does this happen? Everyone's like, my dad's telling me like, oh, some people started like 15. They're writing like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah, but I'm not that person.
I was trying to encourage you. Like,
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
that you can actually do that, you know. And,
yeah, but it's terrifying to me.
You sound like a dance mom over there.
yeah, I'm not gonna go with that route. Like,
What is
put this chair on.
before I get to you, Dad, because I do have questions about how this whole thing and
Pageants.
what's going on.
Started in pageants. That explains this.
Yeah.
The hair.
I'm actually working on it for the next show, thank you.
You're welcome. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's your talent?
Sword swallowing. That's how I get it and go with the
Mix it up.
judges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, Tristan, Jesus. What's your process? So you come up with an idea. Do you write it down? Do you literally write it as a script?
I write, I don't write like, oh, joke, punchline. I write the whole thing down so I memorize it. And like sometimes, like some of the like funny stuff that I think of is just on the fly. Like I have a really funny joke that like I thought of when we were walking around a lake over by our house. Like the whole cream pie one.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I was dying.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the worst type of witty in a sense, because like I don't know, I just think of like dumb shit and I text my dad about it. He's like, that's hilarious. And I'm like, all right, sweet. But none of my friends would get it. Like, what's cream pie? And I'm like, out of all the people, you should like know
Okay,
this.
so then let me ask you. Your dad gets it and he laughs.
Yeah.
Your friends don't get it. They don't laugh. To you, in your eyes, being your age, are you trying... Because, look, your friends can't get into comedy clubs.
And you're not going to be
They can.
16 forever,
Yeah.
17 forever.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're hitting your dad as an audience and be like, well, shit, it works for that age group. And that's a comedy club age group, people that go. So, yeah, I've got something. Or it's like, dude, it made my dad laugh. That's stupid. My friends hated it. I'm
And
not
not
going to
just
do
because
this.
he's your dad.
No, because like my dad is like the ideal like
The coolest
tester.
guy in the world?
Yeah,
we've been over
being-
that.
Thanks.
Among being like, he's like an awesome person. Okay, like he like helps me with like my jokes and stuff. Like we usually like sit down in my room and just try to make something funny. Like because he helps me out because like I don't have any really adult
But
friends.
explain that. You're sitting in your room. Explain what happens. You guys are trying to come up with something funny. Explain what you're talking about.
Probably the best example was with the pillow pet thing.
Yeah.
'Cause that was
Oh,
just so
God.
bad.
So like we came up. I had this. I wanted to talk about like weed in my set because like
Weed?
Yeah, weed. The marijuana.
I thought
yeah.
you said we.
Oh no, I want to talk about like weed in one of my sets, and my dad. We came up with this funny premise because like the whole thing is that I have this joke where it's like I keep my weed in an Adderall bottle, which is like keeping your coke in a mountain of heroin, and it goes in like I store it in a pillow pet. And I'm pretty sure you've raided my room for that pillow pet because I actually have a pillow pet in my room.
Yeah, but then you went into like you cut the hole.
Yeah,
in the
like-
pet, and it was like it was like this whole like teenage sex thing that was hysterical.
Yeah, like it turned into that, and then me and my dad came over this thing like going through TSA and forgetting that like that there's like an Adderall bottle full of weed and 4 years worth of cum inside of this pillow pet. And like my dad just was crying,
Dude, I couldn't
laughing
stop
on my
laughing.
bed.
I was like, "Holy shit, that is so funny!" And sometimes for me, I'm just like, are other people, like adult people, gonna think this is funny? Because
You tell all the dumb stuff that I think about to your friends at work, and you tell that.
and they think it's hysterical. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
all of our terribly awful.
I think
things that we
making a
do.
pillow pet obscene is funny.
Yeah.
I own pillow pets. I could
Oh, yeah.
I could get behind making them obscene.
Yeah.
I mean, they really like make them into a pillow doll. So if you're going to be doing disgusting things with them, like make it less of a bestiality theme and more of like, you know.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing is just like I cut a hole in like the like butt area
Right.
of my lion pillow pet because like it wouldn't be morally sound if I was like fucking it anywhere else because it would feel like I'd be fucking a gunshot wound.
Oh god, that's so fucking awful.
I think any age can relate to that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think you're definitely on
I
the
literally
right
think my
track.
6-year-old son would be like, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
And like the whole thing is just like I did it because I was 13 and willing to stick my dick in anything.
13, 17, 25. Hey, no one
Which is
judges
nice as a
here.
parent to know when they come home and they look at their couch and they're like,
What's the
he could have
hole?
fucked in between the cushions. I don't know what he's doing, dude. This is disgusting.
Why are there no scissors in this house?
Yeah, I don't want to sit
Why
anywhere.
we can't have nice things?
Man, I can imagine if like all the furniture
Everything
was,
in our house has a hole in it. This is weird. It's just weird. Why does a flat screen have a hole in it? Physically impossible.
dude, if
Yeah,
like
that paper mache sculpture in your room, I don't think that's made out of paper mache.
Out of glue? No problem.
Oh, dude, I
Gross.
can't
Boys
tell
are
that story. I have a
gross.
friend that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
That has done
if
something
like,
like that.
all the furniture we had was like the one from Pee-wee's Playhouse and they all talk,
my
they'll
God.
tell terrible stories.
Then I'll be like, all like
Yeah, they'll just be like, I've seen things,
traumatized.
man.
I've seen some stuff.
Yeah,
Middle of the night.
yeah.
Every day when the house is empty, they're like, can you believe this shit? Again, unbelievable.
What's the matter, Couch?
We're like, he can't get worse. Ceases to amaze us every time.
Couch has got like panties on.
It's like, what?
Tristan, why are there panties on?
You're gonna find out, Couchy.
Oh, dude. What a fun house you guys live in, dude. I'm sure it's gross, but so fun.
Oh, no, I always do. I really...
Oh, Stanley carpet.
Oh, gross. My favorite line from a movie is, I think, Bridesmaids or something, and the girl was talking about how she has all boys in her house, and she said she cracked a blanket in half. I thought that was so funny. What's it like having all sons? I cracked a blanket in half. So you guys laugh. Everybody
Fucking
gets
great.
Oh, God, so funny.
I don't know.
Boys are disgusting. They really are.
I've never done anything like super disgusting. I've been like kind of destructive, but like I've never done anything like.
No,
that. I hear
really
they're
haven't.
both destructive
Yeah.
and disgusting.
Yeah.
Why? I worry about this as a parent, and I don't know if Nancy, if you do, because you have girls, you're gonna have a boy, but my son is such a sweet child, right? But then they get to this age, right? 16, 17 years old, but they become their own person. And I was a really good kid.
So am I.
But
Like,
that's why I'm
I don't
asking
think
Brad.
you're
I'm
that
like,
good,
what?
though, Kevin.
What did you do? Did you ever think like? And I don't know. Is your daughter the same? Is she straight and narrow?
we're both shut-ins. Like, I always tell my dad, like, you are so lucky you don't have a rebellious teen. Like,
Yeah.
you are so lucky that, like, the worst I've done is, like, I've smoked pot. Or, like,
I
yeah.
was like, whoa. Does Dad
Yeah.
know this?
He's
Breaking
found
news.
it. I've been an idiot.
Yeah.
In the pillow pet?
No.
I'm not going in there
Yeah.
without gloves
Where
on,
did you?
fucking
Where did you
hazmat
find
suit.
it? Let's hear it. Since he already knows you did it.
I moved my stash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
But do you think
Now you're gonna
because
have to buy
maybe
your
it's such
own.
I know.
maybe it's
Stuff
because
sucks.
such an open household? It seems like that it's like you guys. We get you're gonna do some things. Just don't do the really terrible stuff.
See, that's the thing. Like,
Nothing with a needle.
I remember growing up with
Stops there.
with friends who had parents who were like super straight laced, and they didn't talk to them, and they weren't like, and they were like really like assholes. And you know, at some point, like, I mean, I like my kids. I like them both. They're fun and they're
Both are
cool.
fun.
And I
That's
do
good.
like them both. And the other one too.
The ones I don't know
she's-
about, the ones I
she's-
do know about.
She's awesome, and she's funny as hell too. But
Who's
like,
older?
she is.
Okay.
She's 18 now, so.
And in
Dallas.
Florida, dude,
Dallas.
it's stressing you out a little bit.
It's weird. It's very, very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the whole psychology that I like, this trick that I'm trying to pull, is that if you can get to the point where, you know, they see you as a peer almost, and obviously I'm like probably one of the most immature people I've ever met in my life.
Clearly.
That, like, I kind of function in that regard, and so they'll tell you things, and you're not one of these people who they're like, oh, I can't tell my parents that because they'll spaz out. I'm not going to spaz out. I've been there. I've done worse. I've done way worse. So at some point, like, I want them to see me that way, so they'll tell me what's going on with them, and I can help them with it. Otherwise, I can't help them with it if I'm just an asshole.
I always tell them. One of my kids, she'll be so upset, and I'm like, what is wrong? And she won't tell me. I'm so worried about her. And it'll be something stupid, like she was crying there, like she missed her friend that was out of town. But it took me like a half an hour to get it out of her. I was like, the sooner you tell me, the sooner I can fix it.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who can fix it.
Exactly,
She's still just like, she's going to be a handful.
You never know. Like, sometimes it kind of goes the other way.
I'm pretty sure she's going to be a handful.
But I feel like in what you said is, teaching at home, letting them learn things from you as opposed to outside in the world is what kind of almost, I don't want to say bridges that gap because I think that's the wrong thing to say, but it does help in maybe a teenager lashing out because they're finding something out that's like, well, that's not what my fucking dad said. What a dick. I'm going to do this just to be rebellious. It's like, no, that's exactly what my dad said it was going to be, and whatever, dude. I'm not interested.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
To some level, I think kids do like smoke pot and drink, not because they're trying to prove a point, but just because it's fun.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
I mean, like, it's pretty fun, I guess. I wouldn't know, of course.
No, definitely not.
Well, the late night Bible study, I couldn't even sneak out and smoke pot with my
I'll pray for
friends.
you.
Yeah.
Jesus loves you. Like, whatever the opposite of religious is. That's what I am.
So I want to dig more into this comedy stuff. Tristan, you said when you were 15, you were like, I want to be a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
And you said because you made people laugh, and you were like, this is awesome. You like the feeling. That's why we all do it. It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Was there anything before that had happened where maybe you saw a stand-up or incorporated in comedy from something you had seen and was like, this is pretty cool, I'm interested?
I've always watched stand-up with my dad and stuff. Like, I've always really into comedies. And I remember we had to write a play for our school. And I was in charge of writing it, and I made it like Twilight was still a big thing because I was in like 7th grade. So I
was like 25.
I was reading it and watching it. Such a pedophile.
And I wrote like a Twilight spoof.
I think some of those are so funny. It's the easiest thing to make fun of.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it is.
That's rude to say.
It makes fun of itself, honestly.
It is so the dumbest thing ever.
God.
I was so into it.
Dude.
But like, I wrote one and I thought it was funny, and my dad was. Were you there or Mom was there?
I think Mom was there.
Yeah, and I wrote
As
it.
a fan.
Yeah, and it was shit, but it still was like, oh, like I can make things funny. That's a talent. Like, it's not really like, I don't know. Like, I've always been always like bummed on myself when I was a little kid, and like I guess like all these comics have low self-esteem, so I think that's where I fit right in.
Well, I think when you're a kid, it's kind of hard to find out what you're good at, especially when there's people who are like around you that are really good at stuff.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, I'm good at sports, and that's what I'm going to do, or I'm going to be a race car driver. And it's like, no, you're fucking
I like
not.
this, though. This comedy's good. I wish my kids could do this because what they're doing, they need to be taught. They need dance lessons and all this stuff, and it's costing me a fortune. So this is great that you picked something that you don't have to be taught by other people. You can really this is something you have to learn yourself.
Yeah, and like, I do instruments and stuff, but like,
Quit.
what? I self-taught myself.
That's
Like,
awesome.
Yeah,
No,
like,
he's good. He's a good guitarist.
yeah, and I wrote some dumb song that I put
No,
on Facebook.
it's so funny. It's on Facebook. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you put it on YouTube?
I don't know how. I'm not that tech savvy.
Oh, the glasses threw me off.
Yeah.
One of my little brothers, he's so funny. He wears glasses, so he always makes fun of himself. He's like, any question, he's like, glasses guy knows it. He's like, it's so crazy. He says, people ask me everything, and it's all because he thinks he has glasses. People ask him stuff. He's like, I don't know the answer to anything. I'm not good at this or that or computers. But people in his classes, he says they always ask him how to do stuff. He's like, I know it's the glasses. He's the coolest dude, too.
Like, I've been in that situation before. Like, not because of glasses. Everyone knows that I'm a complete dipshit. But like,
You're not a dipshit. You're
dude,
just,
I
like,
failed
not into
geometry
school.
twice.
I know you did, and I failed it once. So like, you're.
High five, like father, like son.
There you go.
You know how many? Well, I do use some of that actually now.
You'll never use this again.
You'll
Well,
never use this
yeah.
shit. Well, there's computers now, so it's a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I've been like asked a question because like I'm kind of like I'm a really big buff when it comes to like literature and like theater and movies and like TV shows, and I'm like the hugest nerd when it comes to Star Wars, and like a lot of people ask me questions because like I was in my English 2, and people paid me to write poems for them because I'm like really good at rhyming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I wrote.
Your diarrhea poem was.
Yeah, I wrote a poem about diarrhea.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. But a lot of people, like a lot of dick jocks, be like, "Hey, here's a book, write my poem. Blah, you're gay." And I'm like, "All right." So like,
Why does anybody need to have kids do their homework for them now that there's the internet? Like,
I don't know, man.
Google
No
a
one can
poem.
spend no teacher can spend enough time to search everything. Like
And they
you're gonna
won't
get away with it.
Like
most.
a lot of our friends are teachers, and trust me, they don't care to spend their time off googling your
they
paper.
Oh, man.
They don't.
They're
Yeah.
just as
They're
crazy.
like, if they
as-
turned it in, cool, man.
yeah, then
Yeah.
their job's done. At the end of the day, they did their job.
yeah, like I'm slowly finding out that like teachers are actually people, and people don't give a shit. So
Right.
like, I'm just kind of sending it
See,
off to
that's-
them.
But I don't want you to like think, hey, I'm gonna do this comedy thing, so I don't have to be good. I
No.
don't have to hang out and do good stuff in school.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
And I'll tell you this, dude. Most comedians, professional comedians, all have college degrees, which is very strange because it's a business where you don't need a fucking first grade education.
Yeah.
But as you start going along and seeing everybody that tours and does the road and they're professionals at it, most of them have college degrees.
Well, I think you learn life lessons that way, and like
Yeah.
the more you know about life, the funnier you're able to be.
Like I don't want to go to college in a sense because like mostly I just think it's like way too much money, and it's not even like that's like deterring me. It's just that I don't want to, and it's not that like being a stand-up comedian is like, oh, this is all I need. I'm gonna go tour the roads, become big and famous, blah. But like I just don't think I like personally need it or want it. Like a lot of people are like, what are you doing after high school? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, hopefully this comedy thing does decent.
yeah, but you gotta like not to make like the whole like cliche of a statement, but you gotta have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
No, but like you like writing, and honestly, like a lot of really funny people started out as writers and then turned into like doing stand up and stuff like that, you know. And you could be, I mean, you could easily be a writer. You're funny.
Other way around.
Oh, is it the other way around? Oh shit. Well, what I said, but
A lot of people do stand up and then become writers or actors
Really?
or whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of people started in stand up. But, you know, and you said, well, after high school, what am I going to do? Hopefully the stand up thing takes off. Well, I got news for you, dude. It's not going to probably happen right when you're 18.
Yeah,
You gotta keep grinding and getting into it.
Yeah, of course. I know I'm not going to be like, ooh, 17-year-old prodigy, going the world there. Like, I'm going to, it's going to take a lot of work. And it's not that even, like, I want to do this to become, like something. I'm not like I want to do this to become, like the next, but,
Big
like,
thing, or-
yeah, the next big thing. I just want to do it because I like it.
And
Like,
that's what's
cool.
going to take you to that level.
How
Yeah.
much high school do you have left?
2 years.
Oh, okay.
I'm a junior.
So,
It's crazy.
if everything works out, it's
it'll be
only two.
fine.
Yeah,
It'll change.
hopefully. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Only 2 years. I
Comedy
can't.
doesn't go so well, dude. Fail it. Go for 3 more. That's
I can't fail one more year.
Gotta be
I
in
can't fail
school.
one more class or have to be a super senior. That's what Hayden is doing. He's
I
been
love how
super.
they call it a super senior.
Yeah,
that
like it's
sounds
something
like
to be
an
proud
accomplishment.
of.
it sounds like an accelerated
Get a
program.
gold star from every one of your classes, and you
Yeah.
trade out pencils with crayons.
I would rather try hard at school than have to suffer through one semester of summer school. I remember having to
Summer
take
school is
summer
awful.
school
I
for
did that too.
something, and it was awful.
A lot of people when I were just like, "Oh, I did summer school," and I asked them about it. He's like, "Yeah, I stopped going to that. Like, I don't care. It's terrible."
Awful.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't do anything with my time, so I could go to summer school, but I just choose not to because, like, sleeping is fun.
You're a kid.
It is my favorite
You're
thing.
enjoying your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait
Dude.
until you get older, and then the fucking world comes along and kicks the shit out of you. Yeah, enjoy it now.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be awesome.
So, and Dad, as you see it, is this, like you said, you know, you want something to fall back on or whatever. That's what everybody tells their kids.
Yeah.
And even in our own lives, we're like, even though we've got something going on, we still need something to fall back on just in case.
What he means is when you're sick of being poor. That's what they're really saying.
I don't have a job right now, so I'm trying to adapt to the poor lifestyle. It's being like, all right, ramen bowls, here we come.
But, you have this child that you've been raising, and this is now what he says he wants to do.
Slowly growing me in the backyard.
Water.
And it's a crazy business, crazy life. No one has the same. I mean, in this business, it's not the same at all. One, do you at this point welcome it with open arms and say, "Yeah, I mean, do it, man." Like, what is your feeling about the whole thing?
I mean, at first I was like, when he started talking about it, I'm like you've wanted to be a lot of things, and
Paleontologist?
a paleontologist,
douchebag.
I'm already doing that. I'm
Crushing
already
that,
doing
dude.
Crushing
That was
it,
good.
crushing it.
But kids are
fucking
like that.
wired
They
you.
go from thing to thing. He wanted to be fucking Harrison Ford for a while and Indiana Jones. And
All right, so I was
How'd
3.
that go?
It's going pretty well. I'm still.
Is a Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's getting really old.
I know. I'm trying to work on the physique.
We're probably interviewing for him. Holding auditions.
He still married Kelly, whatever. Or, what's her name?
Callista Flockhart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
No? Not a fan?
No.
Dude, if I can marry Callista Flockhart, I would just for the publicity.
Dude.
Well, you wouldn't have to go to
You
college.
guys could you probably wear the same size shirt.
Yeah,
You're not
easily.
into that. Ally McBeal was
Yeah.
such a big thing.
Oh,
What,
I
in the
remember
90s?
that. That was in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's wanted to do a lot of things, but this is the only thing that really stuck. The only thing where he's like, okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'm going to do all the work, and I'm not going to wait for you to say it's okay to do this. I'm like, go online, find a club, see if they'll let you go and do it, and I'll take you every week if you want. I'll be there to support you, but you have to show the initiative. And as long as he continues to do that, I'll be there.
Yeah, we live an hour away from stand-up Scottsdale. So I take my car, or my grandma's car, or my mom drives me there. I meet up with him 10 minutes before the show. And it's hard because people don't tell me when the list comes up. And I can't usually stay that long, especially during
School nights.
Yeah. Because I have to wake up at 6:30 the next
Right.
morning.
And you got homework.
And I got home. I did say I failed 3 classes, so homework is
So
not
maybe this is
my
interfering with your schoolwork. So you could do homework while you're waiting when they finally get you on stage at midnight.
You could do that.
I could.
I'm just saying.
But let's not, just for the sake of it. But it's hard because sometimes list goes up inside and I'm just I can't go inside. So I have to run in, be whatever, write down my name, and then just run out.
So you just go from the parking lot to the stage.
No, when my dad comes
Get there,
in,
I can go.
Oh,
can
okay.
I need my chaperon.
Okay.
Yeah.
He holds my hand.
And when you're 18, can you go in there?
Nope, have to be
21.
21.
All right.
I have
Let's
4
get
years.
An ID. Just kidding. But your dad has to hold the
I've
ID.
been 17 this whole time, but now I'm 21.
So you've got a fake
Yeah.
ID, but
Yeah.
your dad has it. That'd be so
Just
awful.
pencil
That
in a fake mustache.
Yeah.
So back to the first time you were arrested story.
Right.
That was my first time.
And his dad was arrested with him.
Fake ID.
Oh,
shit, you got
really?
arrested for it?
Arrested. In
Well, that is
Wow.
like a felony, right?
It's a 3rd-degree felony in
Oh,
Florida.
see, there you go.
Yeah, it was expensive.
Damn.
Florida.
Man,
In Florida.
I don't.
Well, and you
right?
weren't
The
21,
weirdest
so
place.
you probably had a lot of trouble paying that fine, right?
Yeah, I did. It was. I think it ended up I was 20. So
Was it a good ID?
Oh, you couldn't wait 1 year.
I couldn't wait.
No
Tristan,
idea
keep it down,
what it's
man.
like.
We all get in
No
trouble. with
idea
that
what
one
it's
time.
like.
Yeah. Well, no, it was bad. It was bad. I think it cost me $1,500.
Was it a
Oh my
good
God.
ID, or was it
Jesus
a family
Christ.
member's, or did
No, it
you
was my
make
brother's
it?
school
Okay,
ID.
I used to use my
Yeah,
sister's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was just dumb. It was
Yeah, I don't do that.
Don't do that.
I don't go outside much. You're lucky.
Yeah.
See, these
There's a lot of
kids,
things outside.
They don't go outside.
And the people during the summer are getting a base coat of tan. I'm getting a base coat of pale. It's
That's
working
good.
out
The
pretty
sun's
well.
bad for you.
Yeah, it is. I'm a shut-in, as
There
I've
you
said.
go.
Dude,
The only time I honestly get out is when I go to stand up Scottsdale, every Wednesday.
you get out.
On
You do
occasion.
stuff.
On occasion.
What is your favorite hobby besides comedy? Going to the club.
I play a lot of video games, and I watch a lot of movies. Like last night, I watched like The Two Evil Deads, just for the sake of it. Just
Do you have a favorite movie?
What the fuck is that noise?
No clue.
Is it your phone, Nance?
Is it not?
No, I don't have that
it
noise.
It's turned off.
I don't have that noise.
It's my phone's on vibrate.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know.
it's
Maybe it's the phone
One time
or something.
the actual office desk phone rang in here, and like nobody knew what to do. We all grabbed our
like
cell
nobody
phones.
has that number. Who the
Like,
fuck is
we
calling?
did.
the
We didn't
sound of the bell that died here 14 years ago today.
I didn't know whether I should answer it or like break it. Or we're like, whoa! It was the weirdest thing.
Machine
I haven't
screaming must
picked
kill.
up a phone in years. I don't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to be a relic someday
yeah.
soon.
Isn't
That's
that
gonna be in a
weird?
It's
museum.
very weird.
When we were your age, getting like your own line, we had our own lines. Like
That was hardcore.
that was
yeah, yeah.
And you were so dateable with your own line,
Oh,
your own
Hey,
cordless
baby.
phone. Cordless phone.
Do you want to see my home line?
Yeah, we didn't.
Measure them in megahertz. We're cordless
Oh,
phones.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had to take get a really long cord.
Yeah.
And you go down the basement stairs and you sit there and you talk on the phone. It was bullshit, man.
Your own line. That was,
Man.
that was a
So
Christmas
funny.
gift.
Yeah.
It was a telephone
I cannot
line.
relate to this.
No.
It was terrible.
I
This-
bet.
You have it so much better. My kids don't know how to answer a phone. They have phones. But when we were kids, we would get in trouble for not answering the phone correctly.
I get in trouble
My
for
kids
not
will
answering.
never
the phone.
know how to say Garrigus residence, or like they
My
won't
mom
know.
always made us answer that way, like Bowling residence. I'm like, what
Yeah.
am I like, Jeeves the servant or something like that? It's like, oh, come on in.
There's things they'll never know how to do.
Like,
Play the Oregon Trail and answer the phone.
Exactly.
no, I played Oregon Trail. We had
the coolest,
yeah,
right?
we had.
Oregon Trail's pretty awesome.
I would just name it all of my friends and see who dies first of dysentery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
dude.
put them on
Yeah,
the rations.
There's a lot of
and
dysentery
grueling
back
with-
in like
Yeah.
18, whatever,
For
I think it
sure.
was probably a little earlier than that.
like 17, whatever.
Something.
Oh, no,
There was like
history.
the problems were there was like dysentery, there was like a broken arm, and
You get like bit by a
pneumonia.
rattlesnake or something?
Yeah,
or-
rattlesnake
Yeah.
bites.
Oh my god, I almost got bit by a rattlesnake a week ago.
That's why you shouldn't go
That's
outside.
why
What
you shouldn't go
happened?
outside. There was
Exactly. So I was with a few of my friends, and we were originally going to this party. We found out the address wasn't even real. So they're like, hey, these people are having bonfire in the desert. Nothing can go wrong, especially in a secluded place
Just a
with
heads
fire.
up, man. The
Fire
desert,
in the
no
desert.
address,
Yeah,
bro.
sounds
Yeah.
That should have been your first tip of.
Right. What's the address of the party? The desert.
Which one? Everyone.
All of them. The one with a fire.
Yeah. Look for the thing on fire. It's that. Go on top
turn
of
the
a
TV
mountain.
On, see if it's on the news. That's where we'll be.
It's not like fucking
Yeah.
hot enough here.
Yeah. I know.
Spontaneously
That's what I
fun.
said there. I was just like, wow, we're heating up the hot desert sun with more fire.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Bringing the sun to us. But we were going there, and I'm driving my shitty 1995 Toyota
Don't even say
Avalon
that, Scar.
through the
Toyotas
desert.
will drive forever.
Yeah, I know. I've
Right?
realized that. Even though, like, my AC doesn't work, like, on a blue moon, which is terrifying. But
My
we-
AC doesn't. My car didn't have AC. I had no AC when I was a kid. There
you
was
had
no
a
such thing.
Pinto.
Shut up, dude.
You get hit hard enough in the back of that car, catches on fire. So, like,
Yeah.
well, any car, if you get hit hard enough,
No,
you catch
that
on
car in
fire.
particular.
Yeah.
There wasn't recalls back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like we were going down there and we parked out in like buttfuck nowhere, and then we progressed to this campfire, and then we just hear like this girl named Confidential is in front of us.
It's a weird
You
name.
could have said Ashley, and she'd still be
No, because I
protected.
know a friend Ashley. And she'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking to me about this? I wasn't there."
Do you know
Yeah.
a Svetlana? Then it was Svetlana.
So Svetlana's in front. And we just hear a rattle, and I immediately go like alpha male, and it's like, everyone get behind me, like,
What are you gonna do?
I don't know, like throw my shoe at it. I ran it over in my car.
Yeah, that's.
I was like, did I hit it? Then I hear just like rattle, rattle, and then like no rattle. So
As
like
it crawls through
Yeah.
the engine, get into the car.
goes through the air vents,
Yeah.
lays babies.
Worst idea ever. Worst idea ever. Let's get it out of here.
Your AC doesn't work. There's snakes in mine.
I hear a rattle in your car, man. Whenever you turn the
Just the
AC
stuff
on.
in the back. We should take it out. It's a rattlesnake.
Yeah, we don't want to touch it, dude.
feed it
It
my
lives there now.
leftovers.
That's awesome, man. We kind of got to wrap up, but starting out this young, is it crazy for you?
It's crazy. Like, I don't. It's hard to tell people because they're like, I don't even know when I can classify like myself as like a comedian or something like that.
You already can. You've been on stage.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, but like, I don't know if like I can fit that forte. But like, people ask me like, oh, like for instance, my friend Kendra was having family problems. I'm like, I'm downtown. I can't help you. She's like, why are you down there? And I'm just like, oh, I do stand-up comedy. Like, I'm a comedian. She's like, no way. So it's kind of a crazy thing for all my friends just to be like, oh yeah, he's a comedian. But it's also a crazy thing for me to be like a comedian because like I'm like I want to talk to all these guys, but like I feel like they just aren't that like chill with me, like, or they just don't want to talk to me because they're like the new kid on the block per se. And
Yeah, don't feel like that.
I know.
And I get it, dude. Because I hear from everybody, like, I don't want to come around stand-up Scottsdale because everybody just seems like a dick. And it's the way, I guess, it looks. But it definitely isn't. I mean, everybody's super, super friendly.
Like, I'm starting to, like, some people are starting to talk to me, like you, for instance. And, like, I'm slowly making friends, friending people on Facebook, so it's official.
Then you're closest friend.
Yeah.
Do you love it? Do you love doing it?
I love it. It's like the highlight of my week.
Don't
like,
worry about anybody else.
I don't do shit all day.
Yeah, and that's a good question, Nance. I mean, as opposed to everything that you've done so far in your life, where does this place on that meter?
When I look back at like my life, it's pretty sad. Out of all, like, I mean, like, I've done like cool stuff, but like all the like shows, all the show that I've done, well, 3 technically. Well, I don't know, but it's just probably like it's my favorite thing to do. Like my favorite thing to do out of the week. And even if I go up there and I just like suck dick and just completely just trash, it just like it's kind of like a stepping stone. Like, of course I'm gonna do bad. Like, I'm 17 and like I don't really know what's funny right now because my basis is my dad. Not saying that that's a bad thing. You're a very funny person, Dad. But like, it's just hard to like do it, and for I don't know, like for people to take it seriously, like in a sense, because I tell people that I'm a stand-up comedian, and they're like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Oh, I want to be a comedian." Like, technically, I already am, and they're just like, "Oh, but what do you really want to do?" It's
that's
like,
what pisses me off.
It's just like fucking that. Like, I'm not going to be.
Told them you wanted to be an accountant
or like an
and you
attorney.
were doing it right now, they would be like, "Oh, good for you, man."
Come by my
preparing for your
firm.
future.
Let's look at calculators.
But that's a good point. Brad, that's a great point because you're right. If you say, I want to be an accountant, and you're doing accounting right now, like, holy shit. Look at this 17-year-old kid already doing accounting. He's going to be super successful. You can look at it the same exact way in stand-up, and that's why we're all looking at you of like, dude, he's becoming a stand-up comedian at this age, and everybody that you see at the club is like, I wish I had started at that age, man. Because at this point...
crossed my mind to not take you seriously during this at all.
It just like for some, like most people, is just like I feel like they look at me. She's like, "Oh, what does he want to be a comedian?" It's like, yeah, he's just a kid. He'll find out what he actually wants to be. And it's just like some people in my fucking grade are just like, oh, just have these wild dreams that they're never gonna do anything to like do about. Like they're never gonna actually go after it. And I'm happy that I'm actually like doing something about it and doing what I love.
Well, dude, yeah, you know how many people? There's people my age who are like, I don't know what I want to do. You know, it's like, that's a hard thing to figure out. You know, it's hard to figure that out. And when you get to the point where you do know what you really love and you have the guts to go after it, that's even harder, you know? And here you are, you're already there. So biggest hurdle is already over. It's just a matter of getting to the point where you're really good at it and you're consistent and you're, you know...
It's not even the fact that, like, I don't know. If I could be, it's not even the fact like numbers and like money. It's like, I don't want to, like, I would rather just be doing it for free and doing it the way that I want to do it and like be like doing a stand-up comedian for free than like getting a like money and actually like being like an accountant or like some like
And that's why you'll be successful in it.
I don't think most people get to do what they love, and I don't know that many happy accountants.
Is that like a thing, a happy accountant?
I don't think so.
I'm Jewish, dude. I know a shitload of them.
I think they're happy.
Keep your calculator in your front pocket.
But that, because a lot of guys that I see come into this business that do it, I just want to be famous, man. This is what I'm going to do to be famous. This is what I'm going to do to make a lot of money. All right, first of all, you're not going to make a lot of money. There's we can probably list the comics that make a very good living off of being a comic.
Yeah.
All right, you can make a living off of it.
Yeah.
You just have to live within your means. But, if you're in it for money, you're in the wrong fucking business.
Yeah, like, the fact that you can get money doing this is fucking bananas
It's
to me.
crazy, right?
And, like, I don't know if I ever, like, will get money for doing this. Like, I don't know if I'll ever be like, oh, here's $20, go do, like, 10 minutes. I would be like, do you want this back? I'll do it for free.
Don't say that. But
Yeah, in my mind, I would just be like, okay. It's just the fact that people would pay me to do this, like, is just crazy.
I think it's cool because I remember hearing like a long time ago, Jerry Seinfeld talking about being a stand-up comedian, and he was like, yeah, I used to like watch people. I'd be getting out of the clubs and people would be going to work, and I watch people going to work. And he'd be like, man, these people are so fucking stupid. And we didn't say it like that, but you could tell that he was just like, man, I got the best deal ever. I work like this small amount, and I make people happy, and I get paid pretty well for it. And I'm like, dude, that's an amazing idea. Like, that's a great idea. And the thing is, like, it flies in the face of society a little bit. Like, your society kind of doesn't, like, value that, or it's weird. Like, it's not something you can go to college for, like we were talking about, So, I'm thrilled. Like, go after it and
Like, I'm happy I'm actually, like, doing something that I like. Because, like, I know a lot of people would just be like, I asked my friend Hayden, what do you want to do? And he said, whatever gets me money. And I'm just like,
See,
that's not
no,
something
dude.
to live by. Like, I could be getting, like, I could be working some shitty job in some factory, but as long as I get my 5 minutes 1 week, I'll still be happy.
Yeah.
Like,
if you go after money, you'll end up miserable. Trust me.
Yeah. It's just crazy to me that, like, if I could go back, if I went back in time to, like, a year ago, and if I had given my advice, I'd just tell him to start sooner. Just, like, just you're 16, like, I know nobody's going to take you seriously right now, but, like, you got to prove it. Like,
people will take you seriously. They do take you seriously. It's fun, like, for me to watch you at your age and see you have to handle these situations that, we've all been through. And I'm watching you go through it for the first time, and it's like, dude knows how to handle. You have stage presence, and you have that.
yeah, like,
Which is big.
I still need to work on stuff. Like, obviously,
You
I've
need to
been
work on a ton of shit, dude. You're 17 years old.
I've been doing this for like 2 months. Like, come on. The fact that, like, I'm on a podcast right now is fucking crazy. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I'm so hyped. Like, I'm shaking in the car on the way over here. I just, like, feel like I need to be raffling through flashcards. Just be like, topics. But, like, the fact that, like, I did New Faces show, even though all I had to do was bring 10 people. But, like, the fact that I did it knowing how, like, shy and, like, socially awkward I am at times, just, like, is crazy. And the fact that I'm doing it, like, doing stuff that I love is just crazy. I love it. Like,
Just keep doing it, man.
Yeah.
yeah, like, stand-up comedy is, like, my favorite thing. Like, I love watching it. Like, I go to sleep watching it. I wake up and I'm still watching it. And then I just, like, sit and I try to think of stuff. Like, I try to think of just, like, not funny premises, but, like, stuff that's happened to me that I can, like, twist and contort to a way that it's, like, able to be told on stage and it's able to be, like, laughed at. Like,
Your mind is starting to change.
yeah.
That's what happens. The comedic mind, we don't look at things the same as everybody else.
Yeah, like, I just, like, I do dumb shit now. I just do dumb shit. I'm like, oh, this can get me material. Like, no, I've always been doing dumb shit, like, especially to my mom, and I feel bad for that.
Is Mom on board with this whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
We haven't talked much about her.
She loves me doing it. And, like, she's been to, like, one of my first shows was, like, one of my first, like, shows that I, like, not Wednesday shows, like an open mic, like, one of the ones I was actually invited to. Like, it was weird, because my mom, my dad, my grandma was in the audience, and I'm just like, my penis. And they're just like, that's my son. That's my son.
And Grandma's cracking up.
The one who's talking about masturbating into a stuffed animal. That's my son. Yeah, it's just, it's weird for my parents.
It's a pretty hot pedal pad, I gotta admit.
Jungle, right?
Yeah, it's a lion.
Go big or don't do
Yeah.
it at all.
I'm not lying. That's a
And that's about all the time we have.
Let's end there. You did great.
Yeah.
You did awesome.
It's just crazy that my parents let me do this, and I can't thank them enough for it. And like the fact that I'm actually like, I like to think that I'm somewhat decent at it. It's crazy. Like I can go up there and I can have a mature conversation, and like some of the chicks that like I've talked to are just like, oh, random bit, and I'm just like, that's not funny. Like I'm a comedian, I know what's funny. Cat videos, low brow humor.
This fucking kid, dude, I love him.
He's great.
Dude, we got to wrap up, but man, literally can't thank you guys enough for coming out here. I know
Dude,
the
anytime.
trek, but
Anytime.
and being open and honest, and that's cool, dude. I know a lot of people that listen to the show just dig the whole getting into stand up kind of thing, and we hear it from everybody. But dude, to hear it from somebody that's so young, that's starting in this thing and that loves it, is inspiring.
Yeah, like I just it's just my favorite thing to do, and I just fucking love it. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun making people laugh. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And even if you don't do good, it's fun to laugh about it. Like I fuck up on stage a lot, and it's just funny. Like I forget shit, but like of course you're gonna forget shit. Like you're up there and you're in the heat of the moment. You're like blah 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 blah, and you're just like, oh, I forgot a whole segment. Like that's what I did on the New Faces show. I forgot a whole like chunk. But it went fine. I loved it.
But see how cool this is, man? I mean, you did that, and you're young to be like, oh, dude, my life is ruined, right? Like, a lot of people would be like, I can't believe I did that. But you're so invested in it that you are growing.
I've done way fucking worse.
And
So
that's
I'm
what
just
you
like,
have to.
I'm like, there's a next week. Like, I've been caught throwing a fucking huge party at my house. If you remember that.
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah.
That was
yeah, parents don't forget that shit.
Yeah. That was intense. So I'm just like, that's kind of my basis of how bad shit can get. And so I'm just like, do you know what? There's going to be a next week. This means I have to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, dude.
And you learn from it, and you just keep going, you know?
Yeah.
You're so far ahead of your age, but to be your age at that, dude, that's dope. It's fucking awesome.
I love your age. I
Dude.
had so much fun at your age.
Yeah.
Just looking at you, I'm like, oh.
People are always saying how, like, oh, teenage years are fucking hectic and crazy. I was, like, snorting alcohol and smoking drugs.
Yeah, who hasn't snorted alcohol?
I snorted some.
Man.
Now I know what to add to my list.
Jaeger,
Is this what the kids are doing nowadays?
Do lines of Fireball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it gets hectic at high school parties. But,
I got to start going to those
I know.
again.
We don't get invited to any of those anymore. This is terrible.
they're not as fun as they
just bring me
seem.
the drunk kids
That's not true.
afterwards, and I go,
Yeah.
oh, fucking stories.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's not cool. That's
Yeah.
not cool.
But guys, again, thank you so much, man.
No
Thank you,
problem.
man.
Anytime.
This was awesome.
This is fucking awesome.
See Tristan the 25th, Saturday, stand up Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And that dude, just go check this kid out, man, because you've seen him now in the very beginning. And
Friend me on Facebook.
don't do that, but
Yeah,
do.
don't do
No,
that.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
please
Go
do. I really
go
don't need
for it. But yeah, man, check it out. And all the advice I can give you is just keep doing it. That's it. I don't want to fuck with your life, dude. Just keep doing it. That's it.
I will.
Guys, everybody, thanks for listening. Have a good week.
This has been another proud production of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You want to see more shows, go check out www.foureyedradio.com, you winkers.